Chapter 8. Exponential stuff. Exponential growth, exponential decay, logs, natural logs, all that fun stuff. So, those first couple of questions that I threw on the review sheet talk about graphing. Should you ever get a graphing question wrong? No. Because you have a, which means, should you be able to figure out domain, range, asymptotes, all that stuff, purely visual, figuring it out from the graphs? You should be able to, correct. Now, when we do stuff like that, it's just a matter of, can you put things in the calculator? I was harassing the heck out of third hour about calculator, non-calculator today. It was really, really funny. You probably had heard about it by now.
No.
I had.
You need your sauce?
No. I had Melms going that it was on her fate of a coin flip, whether or not they're going to get calculator, non-calculator on the test. It was great because I can sell it, and she had the class was just PO'd at it. It was awesome. So I had to flip the coin. It said 2 out of 3 times, and I actually had to flip it a couple extra times. She said, "Oh, I dropped it." I was kind of basically sure it was going to work. And so yeah, so that was fun. Basically wasted about 5 minutes. So, like I was saying though, but with the formula, the idea with the final though, the answers are there. Even if you forgot how to math, you can always substitute in values into the equation, into your stuff, okay? For a lot of these problems. And what I mean by that is, if I go back and start looking at graphs, I shouldn't have to worry about graphs because I should be able to do those. I might want to recheck and look at trigonometric graphs because of your amplitudes, periods, things like that. Those little bits and pieces, because we didn't use a graphing calculator for it, but exponentials, logarithms, natural logs, those kind of things, when you graph those, that was just straight calculator work. I mean, well, we didn't use the calculator, but now you can. Also, when you got into some of these equations, I don't know about you, but I completely had forgotten how to work with these types of equations. But aren't the answers on the final? Shouldn't you be able to just create double fraction, complex fractions, and substitute in values to see which one works? So should you get a question like that ever wrong?
Honestly,
no.
You're making me sound.
If you're pressed for time.
Well, no. Here's the thing, but we don't really take a lot of multiple choice tests.
Oh, true.
All right, and the downfall of that with math is that it just, in order for us to get everything done, grades in, and all that kind of stuff, it just takes too long. You have to grade a 50-question, straightforward type of thing. It's nearly impossible. When you get into college, you'll wind up with midterm final for a lot of things. Stuff on the midterm generally doesn't go on the final. That happened with me a lot. There was a couple things here and there, but those tests themselves become a lot shorter, and you got a professor with only 13 of you in a class, and they get a little bit more time to do these things. Okay. Speaking of time, when we're taking the test, the time frames are now 100 minutes long as opposed to 75. Woo! So what'll happen is, since I've got 2 sections of honors, I have to keep the time equitable between both. I'm planning on maybe taking about 10 minutes worth of questions at the front end. For both of you guys, and maybe 5 minutes to make sure I got all the books and stuff in. That way it'll leave at the bare minimum, what would that be? It's 85 minutes to take the final, which is plenty. These finals are written so that you'd be done within the 75-minute frame. I didn't add any questions because we got more time. I didn't do that. Yes, ma'am. I'll bring them on the final. Just bring the books on the final. No? So yeah, but just for fun, in case you forget your calculator, which you shouldn't forget your calculator because it's the last class of the day, so you should all have a calculator by now, because I'm going to take it from you. Are any of you guys taking an ACT then the following weekend? Okay. You probably want the calculator, right?
Yes.
Well, we've done this in the past where people have had had to use the calculator. Your test is what, June 11th? I think?
Yes.
So that means on June 13th, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna bring it.
Bring it where?
It's a sample.
Oh, you take, okay. Just bring it to the main office and leave it in the main office, and then Mr. Fontana knows about these things, and he'll be around to check them in. I don't know if I'll be here because I think I leave for Florida that day.
Are you going?
Lucky you.
Florida.
Well, we're in.
Alright.
Mr.
Murphy.
Florida.
I'm gonna visit you.
What time is your flight?
I'm not Florida.
What time? Our leave flight number.
What time are you leaving?
Yeah, what time are we leaving?
What time we're leaving to Florida?
Yeah.
Well, my truck is full of people already, so you guys have to ride in the back of the truck.
Ooh, that's
Fine by
fine.
me.
I can just
Why don't you put myself in the house?
I'm thinking about taking my trailer to Tennessee, so if you want to spend some time in Tennessee while I'm in Florida, you guys can, by all means, you can borrow my camper.
Nashville.
That'd be so much
It's
fun.
very nice, it's very comfortable. It sleeps 10, so I can take 10 of you. But
Oh, wait, we have to fix it down here.
Yes!
I wonder what was
Yeah, is it a driving or is it like a hookup?
it's a hookup.
I wonder what kind of road games Mr. Murphy plays with his. What's the probability that you'll see approximately 10 birds on the wire?
Wait, do you really? He's
No,
laughing. No, wait, you don't, right?
What kind of game is
He's
it?
not answering the question.
Because I'm going to answer it and you're going to make fun of me.
What is it? Is it yes? Please.
No, not all of it.
You can't.
Our oldest son
Oh, no.
is a sponge when it comes to learning. He loves
Oh, then you
learn.
can stop it.
No.
I love to learn.
He really likes to learn. He really likes math. He loves math. He's really into it. He asks us math questions all the time. He asks us multiplication problems, adding, subtracting. He had a game on a tablet where it was doing PEMDAS stuff with multiplying, adding, subtracting. But the answers he had to spell. So he had to write out like 16. So he's spelling these words after taking 3 times 24 minus 6, and you have to write the answer out in words. He's 7. It's pretty awesome. So we're talking about, you know how when you guys first learned how to do multiplying, you were talking about like groups? Like 7 times 20 would be, well, what's 6 groups of 20? And you start doing stuff like that, and he's doing all this large multiplication pops in his head. So we do a lot of that. He's also really into adding and subtracting time right now. Well, if it's 3:15, that means that in 45 minutes it'll be 4 o'clock, but then in 3 hours after that it'll be 7. I gotta go take a shower. So he's really into this. It's a lot of that. Anyway, so it's only partially true that we play weird, dumb games while we're driving, but it happens. Anyway, so let's say you forgot how to math, and you forgot your calculator. You need to know how to do this. Well, we have bases and exponents. There's a lot going on. Rewrite them. So you have 5 to the negative 3. I'm going to use x. Move that up. And then that's times 1 over 625. Equals the other side right now. 625 is 5 to what power? 4. So that's the same as saying 1 over 5 to the 4th, which is 5 to the negative 4th. Same base, different exponents. We can combine our exponents. We wind up with 5 to the negative 3x minus 4 is 5 to the negative 2x plus 2. Same base. What happens to the exponents then? They drop and you go.
Mr. Murphy, I have no idea what you did.
Yeah. You can go 5 to the negative 4.
Yeah.
625 is 25 squared. 25 is 5 squared. So 5 squared squared is 5 to the 4th.
Okay, where was 5 negative 3x?
Yeah.
Did you just like switch it?
This was in the bottom. I moved it up.
Don't you not
But
want
wouldn't you
to
not
negative?
move it up? Because if it's 1 divided the fraction, would you reverse it? 5.
You just want time if you want to solve it.
What?
If it's 1 divided by a fraction, wouldn't you multiply it by the reciprocal? So 5 is
This is the top part. This is the over 1.
Oh, that's confusing.
So I just rewrote it in terms of bases. Now remember, you have the possible answers in front of you. So obviously if you forgot how to math, could you do an alpha y equals and create a complex fraction? That's all you gotta be able to do. What's that?
Or you can get the probability when guessing correctly.
Oh yeah, we can guess, there's 50 questions. You have 50 questions. You can do a Bino PDF. Yeah, 50 questions. If there's 4 choices, it's a 0.25. I think there's 5 choices though, so it might be 0.2. And then however many questions do you think you can randomly guess on your own? If you can randomly guess correct, and you want to randomly guess and get 40 of them right to guarantee yourself a B. Just randomly guessing.
Let's see it.
You have a small change.
1.12 times 10 to the negative 35.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That's get all
Oh, to get them all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to get them all right, you said 35th?
Yeah.
So it's 1 point what?
1.12.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 35, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1.
What about?
31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Thank you. Hey! Long time no see.
Who is it?
Oh, point?
That's why you told me to stop doing it.
Standing still.
She felt like slow motion. Her scream was so funny.
Help. He wrote help.
It's okay.
So anyway, what we're saying here is that if you just randomly select answers, just be done with it and try to, go home, which you can't.
You're gonna let me leave if I finish my final?
No. So there's a chance it'll work.
That's not percentages though, you have to remember decimals, right?
Anyway, so let's finish up a few more of these. After this, when you start looking at being able to do equation stuff, you should never get those wrong. You should really never get those wrong, because you're gonna have the answers that are going back and forth.
You said they both have the same base and they cancel out the exponents drop? Is that Okay, cool.
They don't technically cancel. You can log base 5 both sides, and that's what undoes it.
All right, thank you.
Rewriting into log forms. Well, if you're rewriting the log, you're going from what is log base b of y is x, and log b to the x is y. I highly recommend going back and looking at this stuff, because when you get to trig was kind of the same thing over and over again. That didn't change a whole heck of a lot. Once you got the basics down, it was pretty much the same every time. Right triangle, you do your 30, 60, 90, spin it, win it, and go. Here you're rewriting back and forth. This is something that you can still check to see if you're correct, because you've got a log base button on your calculator, alpha window 5. So you can change your bases to see if you're getting it correct. So if I'm looking at this, b to the x is y, that means it's log base 14 of 196 is 2. And that's what that means. You can check that in your calculator to see if you did that correctly. Always log base 14. 2. 2. So, think back when you took this test. You didn't have a calculator. I said you didn't need one. Now you can use one. Yeah.
Do you just have all those pretty much? Like all the important ones?
It doesn't change. I mean, we've been using alpha window gets you to a lot of the options. 5 is just the log base, and I remembered it from third hour. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have all of it memorized. Sections in the book I'm really, really good at knowing, but
But now I get the new book.
I know, screwed. Expand the logs. Thank you. Expand the logs, condense logs. Remember, that's just rewriting them. If you're multiplying, you're adding between the two. If you're subtracting, you're dividing. If you have an exponent, it goes in front. Shinki, you look like you have no idea that I've ever even taught you this.
Yeah, I don't.
Same, I feel the same.
I also feel the same.
I recommend going back through your old materials. Go back through your old quizzes and tests. Log base 5 of 3 plus log base 5 of 10 plus 2 times the log base 5 of 7.
Oh, okay, now I know what you mean.
Again, could you put things in your calculator to see if you wind up doing it correctly?
Yes.
You could probably see if you wind up the right stuff, because you can take the log base 5 of all that junk into parentheses and get some decimal. If you do the log base 5 of those 3 separate pieces, you should get the same decimal.
You should.
What?
No.
Wait, so then you just put
4.53.
Sit down.
Because it's multiplying between the two. If it was subtraction, if it was dividing, it'd be subtraction. Then it'd be a 3.
wait, Mr. Murphy.
No, not cube, 3 square root.
What's the nth root then? What's the exponent if it's 1? It's a
Oh,
root, cube root. What was your exponent?
Negative.
1/3.
Oh, it's in
Same deal with the solving of the equations of these things. It's really fast. Inverses. People were asking about inverses. When you're solving for inverses, you flip-flop x and y and resolve. For example, x is 3 to the y plus 2, which means x minus 2 is 3 to the y. How do I get the y to fall? Log base 3, x minus 2 is y. What does log base e do?
Cancel it out. Cancel that.
Natural log, very good. Log base e is natural log. It's log of the natural base. That's why it's ln on your calculator.
Log of natural base.
So wait, is that just
So
the
then-
answer?
Yes.
or do you just, so that's the answer, you don't put it in your calculator?
I really feel dumb now that I've done so poorly on all of this. And yeah, we're going back and looking at it.
Oh, it happens. Do you want me to do any of these equation things?
Yeah, pretty much. If you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Why? You have all the answers. You'll get the answers. Just substitute in and press enter. See which one works.
No, just do one. Just one. Just for completion.
La di di
It's not
di.
that easy. Why? Yeah. What is there?
Got it.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know what you did.
Were you just saying
Missing
what?
the parentheses.
What is the problem?
We don't have that.
Okay, so this is like 3 steps.
Speak to yourself.
Subtract 8. And then divide by -9. So when I subtract 8, I get -9. I divide by -9, and I get 1. Log of 7 of all that is 1. So I 7 it.
Oh my goodness, I'm just wait for a second. Literally just looked at it outside because it's pretty. And I don't know what happened.
And then you're done. Just working backwards. Just working backwards.
You do that.
Do that again for a second.
Okay, hold on. The first time you did that, you had like 1/72. Where'd that come from?
For some reason, I moved this. I wrote it as I moved the 17. Thought I was doing something else. I forgot what I was doing.
Okay.
17.
So you're just writing this stuff and you're like, this is all wrong.
Also, where did the X come from?
Yeah. So then, what do you get? 10 over -7, so -10 sevenths. Okay.
It annoys me that you have to finish.
Do I really need to finish that size 2 seconds?
Pretty much.
Wait,
Good.
what is that?
What?
Second.
Wait, answer what you
That's
saying.
because you always win.
Because I did this. What's 7 to the 1? All right, let me do another one of those. Obviously, we.
Well, all we did was just stick it on the break and we just like looked up the window.
Subtract 2, divide by 7. How do I undo the log?
This actual log.
What's the base?
10. Oh, yeah.
I 10 it.
Multiply the base. By the base. I think I failed this.
Yes.
Because you subtract 2.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get you. I'm doing what
More graphs, shouldn't get those wrong. Hey, which one's your domain, which one's range?
Domain is
Anything that is an X value in range is the algebra.
And how do you remember that?
domain.
He is earlier in the alphabet. Horizontal.
Domain and range go by the alphabet, okay? Just remember that.
In football, if it's like a red razor, then it's on the right side because R comes after what was it? Blue. R comes after B. No, that makes sense. No, I'm not crazy.
Okay, I don't think that's a deciding factor. Hey,
I mean, yeah, I don't know if you want to go there, but I mean,
I don't think that's what Coach White said. And there was Coach White. He couldn't work.
is it possible there's a kid on the right side with the last name that starts with an R?
no.
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 That was Jones.
Maybe it's R because it's right.
B is his left.
But if you're saying blue, isn't there an L in it?
That's what I'm saying.
Because is there a color that's L?
But alright, but what about
Lavender? Now lavender and red look too much the
What
same.
about Eagle and Falcon?
No, they don't.
What?
Eagle,
That had to be.
yeah, E comes before F, so Eagle left as well.
How many times do you guys sing the ABCs during a football game?
Yeah, seriously.
Why do I have a feeling there's a lot of alphabet going on?
I don't know, because it's like, no, it's actually, I'm not wrong, that's what the coach
Don't
said.
just domain on
You can fight Coach White over
You
that.
notice I didn't even know you were on the football team.
I only played one game. That was
Anyway, what is the measure of this angle? Well, 40 degrees off.
320.
Oh,
40, 60, 90.
Yeah, no, 320.
Very good. It's negative 760 because of the direction. It is going clockwise. 360, 720 plus 40. 760 negative. All right. We also went in and talked about, we didn't do so much of that, but we did a lot more of
Radians.
we did radians, but we also did positive and negative coterminal angles.
No,
Are they all negative?
We should plug these in.
Oh yeah, they all did turn out to be negative.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. How do you convert from radians to degrees?
Pi something. Pi something.
Very careful.
Do radians have pi in it? So how do you undo having pi?
Divide by pi.
Which means you multiply by 180 and divide by pi. It If degrees don't have pi, you have to multiply by pi and divide by 180. I said that back in January too, or February. That. Previously. All right, radians to degrees. Radians have pi in it. So we want to get the pi out of it. So we divide by pi. So it's 180 over pi. And then degrees is the opposite. Needs pi, needs less degrees.
I need pi.
What degree does it need? Like?
Over 180. Positive and negative coterminal angles. Negative 13 pi over 4. First thing we gotta do is spin it and figure out where it lands. 4 goes into 13 how many times? 3. And how many are left over?
1.
So it's negative. Which direction am I going?
Left.
Down.
Okay. 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, quarter pi. So that is negative 3 1/4 pi. That is past 1 full revolution, which means our negative coterminal has to be positive. Well, no, we got to get a positive one, but this is already too far negative, which means we got to back it up. We got to add 2 pi to this twice because it's beyond the 1 revolution thing, going either direction. So all I have to do is add 2 pi. If I add 2 pi to that, what do I wind up?
Negative pi. Wait, negative 5 pi over.
Yeah, or negative 1 1/4 pi. You'll see the answers however it's written out. So that gets you that. Add another 2 pi to it.
3/4 pi.
And you get 3/4 pi. That's how that works. Going positive or negative. You just, when you're beyond 1 full revolution, you're just going to add 2 pi or you're going to subtract 2 pi depending on where you are. If you're negative, you'll add 2. If you're positive, you'll subtract. Yeah.
As long as those you just add.
I did because I was beyond 1 revolution.
Hi!
It's the crazy brewski.
What?
She's gonna put us on the gulag.
You bet.
Don't do it.
I left off the 3rd hour with all the trick stuff. We'll do all the trick stuff tomorrow. Try and get all the trick stuff done. I have some actual problems with some more trick stuff for you. Like I said, throughout the course of the school year, I've been creating different files of review things. And one of the things I did, I came across them. Guys, come on. One of the things I did is I took some of the old book version of tests and things, and there's a ton more questions in here to peruse. Now, I am not collecting these things. This is it's Honors Algebra 2. You guys know what you need to know to study. Pretty much. What I'm looking at here with these things is just extra questions. I will have, like I said, I will get answers. I have them. I just haven't posted them yet. I will post them and put them up there. I will get on there and I will post them along with all the other answers that I have. Yes, you know. There should be one. Look at that. I counted correctly. It's almost June, and I'm trying to learn how to count to 10, 9, 8, 7.
Wait, do we have to have a conic stuff?
Yeah, don't worry about this. Was what happened? No, I know. I forgot. You can take off the chapter 10 stuff.
No, it's fine, I just was wondering. Wait, so we have to do chapter 10?
No, we already did it.
We
We can do it again.
That's it.
Wait, are we done with stuff? Wait,
Yeah.
unit 10.
Are we done with like all grades?
Pretty much. Yeah, wait. The chapter 10 stuff, I forgot. When we reworded stuff, I started making these things a long time ago. I realized that 10 was going to be the second semester, but then we decided not to. So, there are some problems that are in here that I've already kind of crossed off. There are a few that you will do, some you won't. Yes, sir.
So as far as review days go, we have Thursday, Friday, and then Tuesday. And that's it.
We got a lot of time. I thought about doing some more stuff, but
Come on this week. Hey, Eric, can we post like
sweet. I look forward to it.
Wait,
My lunch. Third hour. Yeah, it's you live in the third hour. What do you want?
I don't know. I don't have another big bag.
Why not?
I don't know. I was looking through my phone. No. I was looking through my
I knew where you were going at first. I'm like, oh, get out of my way. Try and get as much of the trig stuff done tomorrow. We'll go through trig between tomorrow and Friday.
What?
What's up?
Oh, it doesn't hurt our head, I'm changing that. I didn't know.
I'm not gonna do it. You want 5 details? I'm gonna do both of you. It was 2 and 10.
What should I do? Ready? No.
Oh, you have a question? Oh, okay.
Fueled by anxiety. Alright, am I gonna drive you
He just got out of this, he just got out of
And I'm
this.
flipping a coin.
I just got my final grade.
It was not.
I said, no, I
No, I did an amazing presentation.
You wrote it down.
You're Miss Haven.
Yeah.
So here's how much payment is.
I think you should give me the extra credit. I said I would.
Alright, are you saying it's you? Then write it down.
No. I was almost not even reading off the PowerPoint at all. I was talking all on my own.
This girl's presentation was terrible, but she said she liked my
No. Someone.
And like, my friend got an A- on it, even though he really didn't do a lot of that. And like, this was 0.
Was it you that brought like a handbag to school and she got all up on your face?
Yes.
Really?
I swear, at first, I was taking care on my books. Like, but like, she yelled at me. We don't have to In my first semester, she was assigning random grades to the essays. She had the essays grades hours time, and everyone had grades that didn't reflect the I swear she's using a random number at that, so that's the only final I didn't see.
So about
With the ball too much and everyone's going.
No, it's fine, stop.
It's like bingo.
I don't know if it's just that he chose one that are streams on each side, but it seems like it was random.
I'm really angry.
Try punching a kitten.
I'm not gonna punch a kid. I'm probably gonna punch a human.
I'm just saying that's regularly stressed and abuse depression.
I kept your spot.
Sorry, please no hurry. God.
Well, somebody told me now. Like, I used to go.
It's an industrial toaster.
What is it?
I know.
It's actually a neti pot.
Hey.
Basically, good voluntary. Wait, what did you say? Neti pots are voluntary water boiler.
Oh, nice.
88.9% was flat. That's so dumb. That means, you know what that means?
That means you have to literally just get nailed. 93%.
87.
Oh, yeah.
Or, if I don't want to fail the class, what's 8 times 4?
Well, you're not going to fail it no matter what.
9.
Because you can only get 70.
And the whatever, combining together to form the
You can only get 68.
products are breaking down.
You won't fail it.
Trying to create a constant rate to create It's a bunny.
It's a bunny, that's what it's called.
Yes, but it
No.
opens up at the bottom.
I could get
Is that like a giant bunny?
That's what I thought.
Wait.
I could get a 52 on this final. I pass this class with a B. A 52 on this final.
Yep.
I did not know I was doing this well in this class. I thought I was doing horrible.
Yeah, if you give up going to the next grade, then it's pretty easy.
I have 79.76.
What?
I have a 79.76.
Good luck with that.
Round it up.
Bozo, come here, son.
no. Oh my God.
Can I do it?
Well, I want to do it.
Hey. That's neat.
Matters not.
That's a cool picture.
That was the other one. Saving
Yeah, this is 5 kids.
Excuse me?
Hashtag safe to make it.
What, the hug one?
So I literally gotta sit there
The caption for this is pretty funny.
and explain all the time.
I don't remember what it said.
I felt like I needed
It was like Ian Pankey and Nate Sisler. Yeah, it was like Ian Pankey and Nate Sisler celebrate win against.
Oh. Ready to go grab it?
Now you have to walk around the pool.
I'm gonna hurry up and get it.